Hey, it's Keith from Alien Ghost Robot Creative Media. 2 quick notes. First, hang around after the credits to hear some trailers from other audio fiction podcasts you might like. Second, if you're enjoying this show and would like to support it and other programs like it, I'd be thrilled to have you join my Patreon. You can listen to all our shows ad-free and get some cool perks too. The link is in the show notes or at thelovetalker.com. Thanks. The Love Talker is a folk horror audio fiction production and contains mature content, including adult language, violence, domestic abuse, and sexual assault. A complete list of content warnings for this episode can be found in the show notes. Listener discretion is advised. For the best audio experience, we recommend listening with headphones.
I always liked making things. I made a nativity scene one Christmas when I was 8. Early work, of course, but I was proud of it. Put a lot of effort into it. That's what mastery takes. Effort and time. Ma and Pa never took to my things, yeah. But the children always like what I make. Little angels. All of them. It was Ma and Pa had the idea I should go into doctoring. Probably because they reckoned that would make a decent man of me. Yeah, that and on account of my other interests. Hello? Well, how's she feeling? Yeah, sure, I would too. When did they start? How far apart are the contractions? Well, that's fine. I'm a-coming. Just, y'all sit tight now. A miracle of creation. I was born and raised in Kibkibney. Look after all the folks on the mountain best I can. Gum Rattle, Blacklaw, in the West Holler on towards Dogwood. It might make more sense to live in Kibkibney, but I always liked it in Kilroon. Closer to the mountaintop. They tell you, go where you're needed. And I reckon they need me in Kilroon more than anywhere else. £8 pounds, 13 ounces. 10 fingers, 10 toes. Pa, hold her little legs for a moment. Good. Now turn her over. Gentle now. There you go, Angel. All right. Let Ma have her turn. Always a blessed day. It's what keeps me going, really. Newborns, children's finger painting up at the school, my own whittling. Pediatrics is what saved me. Morning, Ruth. You got anything today?
Morning, Doc. Yeah, a couple of packages. More film chemicals. You know they have cameras in phones now.
Well, yeah, I know it. Just call me old-fashioned, huh?
I'll call you Ansel Adams if you ever show me something.
They're strictly medical, I'm afraid. Research only. Nothing that would, interest you.
It sounds interesting.
Oh, well, you really want me to show you a picture of a torn epicranial suture? Well,
Forget I asked. Here you go. And the rest of your mail. Something from a pet supply store? You got a dog now?
Oh, not me. For a cousin over in Gun Rattle. Having trouble training a new dog, I got him a muzzle.
Know a few people around here who could use muzzling.
Well, thanks, Ruth. You see, I'd do anything for the children. What are you supposed to be?
He's a real monster!
Yeah, I reckon he is.
Are you a monster too?
Oh, well, now I don't know. Maybe I'm... Oh, well, tell your mama I sent my best. I spend a lot of time learning all I can. You know, if you want to become a master, you have to start as a student. Now, I know you reckon the birthing and rearing of young'uns is for the ladies. It's a real popular belief, but I'm here to confess it just ain't so. You know, I didn't take to college at first. I was still thinking about my nativity scene and how the kids loved it. But my advisor hooked me up with some volunteering at the children's hospital, and that's when the spark hit. Pediatrics. So I aced the MCAT and registered for the first human anatomy class I could. And I sent away for all kinds of journals and research. I still have so much to learn. Oh, so pass through the foramen magnum. My best work is coming, and I can feel it. I just do what I can with the tools I have. Sometimes I have to be a little creative. Now, the muzzle I can alter myself. Other tools need more specialized craftsmen. The folks in Kilruin, they keep to themselves mostly. For the best, really. There are a few, like me, who live high on the mountain and manage to find work. Jake's one of us, but he's got a job working in a metal shop. Helps me out with some specialized equipment.
Doc?
Jake?
Over here.
Oh, yeah.
Can't imagine what you use these for.
Well, you know a better way to remove a hypopharynx from the lower proboscis?
Nah, reckon I don't.
Well, what do I owe you?
I'm gonna take a smoke break. Out back.
All right, sure. I'll go with you.
Want one?
No, not for me. Thanks.
Midsummer's coming.
Well, that it is. How's Becca?
She's good. Real good.
How old is she now?
I think you know.
Mm-hmm.
She looks just like her mother.
Well, Abilene was right pretty.
She's smart, too. Smarter than me. She's on track to finish high school. She's got a shot at some scholarship to a community college.
Well, good for her.
She's got a chance I never had, and I want her to have it. And I know everyone in this town respects your opinion.
You know, but that's not how it works. The decision isn't mine.
But they listen to you. There's lots of other girls, Doc. Girls who ain't got a chance like Becca. I'd be right grateful if you bear that in mind come midsummer. And I'm sure Becca would be too.
Well, she's a bright one, isn't she? I'll tell you what, about time for her to have a checkup anyway, isn't it? You send her along this week sometime, I'll examine her. See if there's any reason to disqualify her. And I feel confident that there will be other candidates to think of.
You take that tool on home with you. I'll make any more you need.
Well, that's right neighborly of you, Jake. Now, Kilruin and the rest ain't busting at the seams with medical personnel, in case you ain't figured that out yet. Cell phone coverage is spotty at best, so I check in with a service when I can. Hey, Patrice. Anything?
Oh, they gonna tear that down one day. What you gonna do then, Doc?
I reckon they'll have to tear me down too, Clete. Sorry. What was that? Not many doctors would work up here. Landlines, no internet, and the money, well, what do they say about blood and stones? Yeah, but I ain't doing it for the money. All right, yeah, I know where that is. Yeah. Well, thanks. I do it for the children. Body gets kicked by a horse. Who else gonna help him? I'm the doc around here. I'll risk the sin of pride to say that gives me some satisfaction. A sense of purpose, I suppose. Hey, Donnie. Heard you were dancing with that bay mare. Missed a few beats. Lift up your shirt. Well, let me give you a listen here. Deep breath. All right, again. Lungs sound okay. Got some broken ribs. I guess 3 of them. Now, he'll expect me to wrap him up. There's a risk of pneumonia with all that compression business. It ain't like in the movies. Well, it's like a lot of ideas around here. Old and wrong. All right, you put ice on them until the swelling goes down. Take some Tylenol for the pain. If they're not better in a week, give me a call, okay? Oh, and stay away from those horses. Rest is the only thing for it now. Get Jimmy Tamber to help you out here. So many old ideas grow here. It's old soil, so there's something to that. Old mountains. Lots of things grown up here. Especially on the bald. The mountaintop is blessed earth. Now, I tried bringing folks new ideas, but the mountain ain't conducive to ideas. Things are set. They are the way they are, for good or ill. There's no negotiating with it, no dialogue with it. It is. What happens here could only happen here. Some of the old ways are just fine, though. They don't know about our time in Kip-Kipney. They don't know about midsummer like we do. That's fine too. Better for all concerned. Hey, Patrice, anything? All right then, all right. Well, I'll be up on Musquet Creek if anyone needs me. Well, I always loved fishing. Big Herman took me to Musquet Creek when I was 9. I'd just stare at the water, the rapids, the currents and eddies, swirling around, making whirlpools. I didn't think about it at the time, but there's a lesson in that. All that water, shaping the world, little by little. Erosion. Might take forever, but eventually it'll make those rocks, those trees, its own banks, into something else. Little by little. Drop at a time. Progress. Hey there, boys. Catching anything? Well, patience and time, boys. Patience and time. Now, about the time I was 16, I started to get it. You see, they're swimming around and living their fish lives. They see a free meal, dangling around right in front of their faces, right? And then bam, yanked out of the normal world by some greater force. It's a holy experience. People think God and his creations are supposed to be kind and beautiful, but they need to reread the Old Testament. Creation is radical. Creation is messy. Some would call it ugly, but how can that be? All God's little angels are beautiful. And God demands sacrifices for his creation. No one remembers how long the angels of the bald have been turning up. Well, maybe they do, but they don't want to talk about it. Every now and then, a body be out picking blueberries or hunting squirrel and hear a baby crying. They'd find a wee one crawling naked down a mountain, just like another day. Now, the old witch thinks they're evil. That's a papist idea. On account of the Fenians never stepping foot in Kilroon until the last century or so. The early ones were scared off by him. We don't say his name. I've heard her call him the devil, another papist word. I figure it's because she don't understand art. Old witch has her own creation story, 3 mothers and whatnot. But the dirt up here is real old. Older than her tales. You can't exercise a whole mountain. No better people than Ginevra have tried. There were missionaries came up here a while back, went up on the bald. They learned the truth of creation. Right then and there, they did. Not all of them came back down, neither. And the ones that did had their minds broke, I can tell you that. No, he ain't no devil. You don't confront a man like that. You learn from him. Uh-oh, boys. You better stash that moonshine. Johnny Law's here.
Sorry to bother you, Doc.
What's up?
It's Caleb Pickerneck. Collapsed.
Oh, All right. Boys, you keep my trout here. You'll need it the way y'all fish. All right, let's go. Caleb's had this heart attack coming for some time. Mrs. P will be fretting over the hospital costs. Now, don't worry. I know some folks there. They'll help you with the paperwork. Stuff you'll need for the financials. Let's get him up on the stretcher. Grab the seat there. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, I'll call ahead. Let him know y'all are coming. Caleb ain't long for this world. I don't fixate on such things. The sister has that monopoly. Not that I talk about that with her. I find what little conversations I do have with her to be unpleasant. She's afraid. She doesn't understand what he's doing up there. It's a different kind of alchemy. Death and decay is a transubstantiation from living to feeding the living. We all understand that. But what he's doing is something else entirely. Unpredictable, but unmistakable. I'll never forgive myself for letting the old papist take her. My angel. Sure, there were others. I could see his design. I know a fellow craftsman when I see one. Not to imply that I'm on his level. No, but he's up there, working the soil like that. I've put my flourishments here and there. I hope he's proud. I did my best. I don't rightly care for the partnership between me and the sister, but it works. I'm not a young buck anymore. Hardly qualify as a caretaker of the angelic and the divine. We can't bring in outsiders. They'd wreck everything. Tread all over the mountain, desecrate the holy ground, ruin the miracle. A feller has to live with his decisions, no matter how heavy they feel around his neck. Hey, Patrice. Anything? Oh. You don't say. See, the thing about magic, of course, is only the magician gets to know the secrets. All right. Thank you. The rest of us have to figure out how the trick is done on our own. A lot of trial and error. When things go awry, they don't go as planned. We do our best within the limits of our understanding, which is why it's so important to study, even our failures. Evening, Helen.
About time you got here.
Hell, Caleb Pickerneck, he had a heart attack. Got here as soon as I heard. Is she all right?
See for yourself.
Ours is not an exact science, but the rituals and sacrifices began before my tenure. And while some of them are pure superstition, like those witch marks, others have a method to them. We make the best decisions we can. But like all good artists, he is choosy about his materials. Lord of mercy. What happened?
She got her hand out of one of the restraints. By the time I found her, she done that to herself. I tied her back up with twine.
I can see that. She'll need clean sheets and a gown. You got any?
There's so much blood.
Helen, go get your daughter some clean clothes.
All right.
Irene, I need to look at you. I'm gonna cut off this nightgown. That all right?
Go read about our secret.
I feel for the girl. I do. I'm sorry, this might hurt a bit. Irene Beddoe wasn't the first girl he turned down. None of them do very well after. Irene has to be tied to the bed, else she'll wander off looking for him, end up dead in a ditch or froze to death in winter. And this is new, though, what she did to herself.
Cannot take you unaware and hook your heart anymore.
How could she do that to herself? Why didn't she stop?
I'm gonna need to sedate her. Some of these scratches and tears are deep. Gonna need to sew them up.
She don't feel nothing. She don't feel nothing but him. God, look what she did. Look what she did thinking of him.
Still, I don't want to cause her any needless pain.
No pain? No pain? You did this. You and the sister and the rest of you. It was bad enough when we thought she'd be taken from us, but look how she came back. It's your fault.
Helen, you know that no one person is...
I ought to kill you.
Helen, let's remain calm here. You've been drinking. You're upset. Rightly so. You're not thinking clearly.
Why do we do it? Why do we let him do this?
Helen, point the gun down. We'll talk about this.
I know we're poor. I know we got nothing for nobody. I know Irene wasn't going any further than me. But that don't make us worthless.
You know he chooses whoever he likes.
But you send us out to him.
Helen.
I blame the sister. I blame you. More than that, I blame myself. What kind of mother am I to have gone along with it? What kind of mother am I to give her up to him? No mother at all.
Helen, don't.
No!
All right. It's gonna be all right.
She ain't never getting better, is she?
Well, you never know.
Any of the other girls he rejected get better?
No.
I can't look at her face anymore. She ain't here. She's out there on the mountain.
Well, what about Merle? Can he help?
Merle left last month. Left me alone with his ghost in our house.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Ain't there something you could do? If she ain't ever getting better, can't you?
Helen, I took an oath. First, do no harm. But sometimes it's okay to let nature take its course.
I don't think I can.
It's okay. I'll see to it.
I can't be here. I can't be here.
Irene, Angel, I'm gonna turn you loose. There you go. What do you feel like doing?
I'm going to meet my beautiful man. He's promised me gardens of flowers, sweet flowing water, and a bed where we'll lie together forever and ever.
All right, then. If you think about it, it's a mercy, really. I know it's hard for some folks to see past the sorrow, but I focus on the beauty. Children see it. Children understand. Children appreciate a pretty thing. Adults in town were right upset about that nativity scene. It's a hard thing for a boy to get through. All that hateful admonishment, especially when it's something you're right proud of. That's why I keep records of all my angels here in town and the ones he makes, to remind me of the beauty, a record of what I'm working toward. Textbooks are one thing, but they don't account for individual variation. They don't capture essence. They're schematics, not art. I've been up to the Bald myself a few times, looking for him. I have nothing but respect. I just want to see him work, learn from him. Way back in Bible school, I remember learning about Genesis. How the good Lord above made everything. I was real jealous of God, you see. Reckoned I could make my own things every bit as good as he. Now, I'd like to think he saw my potential. Not the God of the Bible, no. But him, on the mountain. Because he gifted me these angels. Me. All I want to do is bring beauty into the world. Here we are. A chisel and a hammer. I don't have his tools, but I do pretty good with what I have. Interior mandible over the upper labrum. Incision above the left mandible. He and I, we're doing God's work.
Summer sun, he sheds his skin and walks among the world again. Women strong and maiden fair must go with sage wove in their hair else game cannot take you unaware and hook your heart evermore.
The Love Talker, Episode 5, Doc, was written, directed, and sound designed by W. Keith Timms. Co-written, engineered, and composed by M.T. Goins. Featuring Aud Andrews as Doc, Chelsea Krause as Ruth, Anthony Proctor as Jake, M.T. Goins as the Sheriff, Diane Helen Kennedy as Helen, Christa Burton as Irene, and members of our ensemble including Thomas Diaz, Diane Helen Kennedy, Philip Kraaijenhof, Chelsea Krause, Erin B. Lillis, Kelsey Painter, Anthony Proctor, and Will Sankuer. The Love Talker is a production of Alien Ghost Robot and Celebrity Tumour, and is produced by CJ Penrith and Nancy C. Timms. For more information, visit thelovetalker.com. Tell your friends and family about the show, and kindly leave stars or reviews on your favorite podcast platforms. And be careful out there on the mountain.
In between this cage-match maelstrom we call life and whatever comes next, a tiny shack hides deep in the arid Mojave wastelands. Unimposing from the outside, all rotted wood, trash, and the broken promise of American dreams, but if you were ever able to enter the door, you will be introduced to a reality where your life matters less than the dust settling into the cracks on the floor, where the molecules that make up your entire being could be rearranged into a far more useful utensil, where every tragedy is a ritual and every sacrifice a joke. Welcome to the color-soaked psychedelic cosmic nightmare you have yearned to have whispered into your ears. Welcome to Wireland Ranch. Anywhere you get your podcasts.
It's like I told you. No idea how I got inside. That memory jumps to an interior. That was where I fell. I will tell you about that time I worked as a courier. I will tell it, and it will linger.
Celebrity Tumour presents delivery.
I know you got questions about him. Where did he come from? How did he do all those things they say he did? Was he a terrorist? Was he crazy? Was his skin really blue? Well, I'll tell you what I know. I was there with him, driving through the back roads under the stars. I was witness to wonders and miracles, and to the darkness that's coursing through the veins of our country. He came to fight it in his own strange way, but no one leaves that fight unchanged. Not even Rael. People ought to know the truth. And I was there. The Book of Constellations is a down-to-earth sci-fi road trip. It's audio fiction, and you can find episodes at bookofconstellations.com or wherever you get your podcasts.